right, good morning, everybody, and welcome back to True Crime Loser. I hope you're doing well this morning. So today we are going to pick up where we left off on the Rodarte interrogation. And if you remember from yesterday, he's going with I went to talk to Savannah in the Bonefish Grill parking lot. I told her, stop telling everyone we slept together, and she said, I'll do what I want, and got out of the car and then got into a mysterious green truck, and the green truck drove away. And the detectives' main issue with that story is, Rodarte, we talked to you once at the Bonefish Grill and then again at your place, and you didn't say anything about going to talk to her, and you didn't say anything about a green truck. And we're trying to find Savannah. And so knowing that, having the information that she drove off in a green truck would have been really beneficial. So that makes him look pretty bad. And then also, they say, yeah, regarding the green truck, Rodarte, is there wasn't one. So that's the thing, is if you're going to go with a story in one of these interrogations, don't do things like make up a big green truck, because that's an easy one to just be like, no. This story that he's going with now with the whole, like, we met, green truck, I don't know, tanks, so bad. And then at the end, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but at the end, it looks like he's about ready to confess, and he comes up with another story that's way better than this one. But we'll get to it. Okay, so they're hitting him up with the, like, why wouldn't you have said any of this before? And also, sorry, Rodarte, but we have footage and there's no green truck. And so this story is just tanking bad. And it's like a clown where his act is bombing. It's not going well. And so he's talking about how there's a woman named Chelsea. It's hard. This part's hard. It's so heavily edited, but there's a woman named Chelsea that also works at the Bonefish Grill. And he is, part of his story that, I just freaked out and didn't want to be a suspect. That's why I didn't tell you any of that. I just freaked out. Didn't want to be a little suspect. And so he's saying, like, I was texting Chelsea, like, should I? Maybe I should tell the cops what I know. And they're like, okay, are those texts on your phone? And he's like, no. And then he's like, the story's not going well. And he's just like, and they're like, why would you delete that off your phone? And he's like, I don't know, I freaked out. I didn't want to be a suspect. And then he's talking about, like, I went home and had some corn dogs. Then I text Chelsea, I'm eating corn dogs. And then she came over later, and they're like, okay, well, is the text that you said I'm eating corn dogs on your phone? And he goes, no. And they're just like, all right. When you're lying about a text about eating corn dogs, it's over. It's just like, I texted her that I was eating corn dogs. Okay, well, let's see that text. Oh, yeah, I deleted it. I delete all texts regarding corn dogs. That's just the way I am. And Rodarte, to deal with the whole didn't say anything the first couple times, to deal with how bad that looks, he just kind of adopts the attitude of, like, I should have said something. I know, I freaked out. I should have said something. Darn it. And then the whole thing switches. So up until this point, the detectives were at least listening to the stories and poking fun at them. They've done the whole, there's no green truck. We have the whole thing on video. So where is Savannah? It goes from, it's like, we talked to you at Bonefish Grill, you told a story. We talked to you at your house, you told a story. And now you're in here and you tell us another story. Where is Savannah? This is the part, they're done with stories. Where is Savannah? And they kind of just keep hitting him with that. we need to find her, and they start using the strategy of her family deserves better than this, which seems to get to Rodarte. It seems to me that the tactics that get to Rodarte the most are her family deserves better. Don't make this whole town and all the detectives in here go out and try to find her when you know what happened to Savannah. Where is she? There's no green truck. Sorry, but we all wish there was a green truck. I love green trucks. 90s Ford green trucks? Come on, who doesn't? But the problem is there just wasn't one. So where is she? The family deserves better. And like I ended on the last video, he's really just having a hard time even saying anything at this point. He's just sitting there and just going like, the once crazy hand gestures maybe now is just a little like, I don't know, he kind of just keeps going, I don't know. And it's to the point where they're kind of just over and over going, where is she? Where is Savannah? And he goes, I don't know. And they go, no, we can't. We need something. You got to give us something. There was one story, and then there's another story, and then you made up a green truck. And he is scrambling for what to say because they're turned up the pressure for the first time where they're both kind of just being like, where is she? Where is she? And then, we need to help. Her mom, at one point, they go, her mom has stage 4 terminal cancer. She does not deserve this. And Rodarte's just like, Jesus, sitting there just trying to not confess. And they're going double pressure, and then they use a tactic similar to like, did Shanann do it? And then like something like that, where they go, did she overdose in your car? Is that what happened? People overdose all the time. Is that what happened? And that strategy is if he, in the moment where he's just sitting there, really just struggling, and then they kind of throw him a little lifeline. Hey, did she overdose? Hoping that he'll be like, yes, that's what happened. She overdosed. And not thinking that they could easily test if she overdosed, but just to get the ball rolling, which I think those strategies are good. Just like with the Chris Watts thing, that got the whole thing going, but he was like, eh. And then the female detective gets a lot of crap in the comments, but I don't know. They got the confession in under 2 hours. So, they got it. So it's hard to criticize them too much, but it is kind of funny because she turns up the emotions. So she's like, look at her. I have a daughter the same age as that. And she gets this like almost fake crying tone. But the funny thing is, where was it? Oh yeah, so she's going like, I have a daughter the same age. Where is she? She's got this emotional tone, which works if you're saying things like that, like, I have a daughter. But then also she seems to, it like bleeds over into the other stuff that she says. So she'll be like, she never got out of the car. She never got out of the car. And it's like, why are you crying on that part? But they're both just hammering at this part. She'll take a turn and be like, there's no truck. Where is she? You need to tell us. And then the guy will lean in and be like, you got to give us something, Rodarte. And he's just sitting there going, not saying anything. His face is beet red and he's struggling. And then the female detective hammers home the video again. And then just is doing like we're fact finders, Rodarte. We're fact finders. Okay, now's the time. He's not saying much. And then she goes, be a human. You're a human. Which, like I said, I'm not criticizing too much because they got the confession. But I'm not sure if just reiterating that he's a human. But maybe. Be a human. You're a human. That's what I'm going to do if someone's mean to me, like on the subway platform. I'm just going to be like, you're a human. Be a human. And then the female detective just starts begging, just saying, I'm begging you. Please, just tell us. I'm begging you. And at this point, Rodarte is just shaking his head and kind of doing like a, not looking good. And then it slows down a little bit from just like double pressure. Tell us something. You got to give us something. To, okay, where did you guys go? She didn't get out of the car. We have video. She didn't get out of the car. The car door opened, kicked open a couple times, and then you guys drove off. So where did you guys go? Where did you take her? And then Rodarte seems to regain composure. To me, it looked like he was just going to confess and start crying right there. The way that he looked, and they're going after legacy, like, do you want to be remembered for this? And he's sitting there like, I don't know. And then all of a sudden, a new story. He goes, well, we drove. He was like, there's no, I don't know if he said it, but basically he was like, there's no green truck. We drove back to my place. We did some drugs together. And then at some point, she called an Uber, or she said she was going to get an Uber, and she walked out the door. And I think if he would have started with that one way back at the beginning and just stuck to it, that's so much better than then I was texting that I like corn dogs and the green truck. It was huge. It drove. He ran into such a brick wall with all the texting. Yeah, I was texting Chelsea. Is that text on your phone? No. I was texting about corn dogs. Where's that text? I don't know. And then the green truck, we have video. But if he just from the very beginning would have said, I went to tell her to stop talking about me. We got into a fight in the car, and then we made up. And then we were like, yeah, fuck it. Let's just go back to my place. We went back to my place. We did a bunch of drugs. Then she left. What am I supposed to do? And he even said in there, they were like, well, did she call an Uber? And he's like, I don't know. I was laying there. I was pretty high. And that's such a better story than the green truck. And it reminds me of the Lucy Blackman in the book, The People Who Eat Darkness. The killer in that, he's in trial, and he's this horrible dude, and the prosecution lays forth all this stuff, and it's looking awful for him, and then everybody's like, what's the defense going to be? And this is in Japan, so it doesn't work quite the same as here, and no one knows what the defense is going to be, and it's just simple and way more simple than everybody thought, and it kind of works. And that one he was like, we were hooking up at my place, and then he's a real rich guy. He's like, I called this guy that helps me with things to come and get her the next morning. He came and got her. He dropped her off at some place. She met with some guy, and they left. And it kind of reminded me of this story of just like, we went back to my house, we did drugs, and she left. She's an adult. What am I supposed to do? Just hover over? Are you getting an Uber? Let me see proof of your Uber. And I don't know if he came up with that while he was sitting there just struggling with the whole, like, you're a human, be a human. Do you really want everybody to have to keep looking for her? Her family deserves better. He was sitting there going, I got to come up with something better than this. And so he comes up with that story, and the detectives are back to like talking about the video, just being like, the door kicked open. Why would the door kick open then 3 times? And it's the whole pressure is kind of off a little bit. And the female detective starts being like, now is the time. And even at one point, she goes, right now is the time. She even one-upped the guy in the Grant Amato interrogation. He was like, now's the time. Now's the exact time. And she was like, right now is the exact time. Right now. And then Rodarte just goes, can you please tell me what I'm being charged with? Which is also a pretty just good move on his part. It's just they're kind of being like, all right, tell us something, Rodarte. And he's like, just tell me what I'm being charged with. As a way to be like, I'm done. Just tell me what I'm being charged with. Driving with a suspended license, kind of poking at them like, you guys don't have enough to charge me with murder. And then it's just edited. And it comes back with when it comes back, the male detective Rodarte looks real sad, like he just told the truth, which ended his freedom. And the male detective is like, all right, we can work with that. We can work with that. And then I think there's about a 20-minute confession where it gives him pretty much everything, where she is, or maybe I don't know if he told him exactly everything in this one or it was like most of the stuff and then one more time. I've heard conflicting reports, but, he confesses and he's crying. And just like all interrogations, once they got the confession, the once nice understanding, we're here, let's talk, detectives are like, all right, see you later. And get up, and they leave him in the room, and he paces around and cries and audibly apologizes to Savannah while he's crying, like, I'm sorry, Savannah. Talks about how he's never going to work at Bonefish Grill anymore. And they ended up finding her. She was burned in his fire pit and then thrown in a lake. And so this was in 2017, and it still hasn't gone to trial yet. So someone asked yesterday, why do this interrogation? It's heavily edited, and the confession is edited out. And fair question. The reason is I'm pretty sure the trial is about to start like any day now, and I just wanted everybody to be on the same page with it. And so this happened in 2017. Couple months ago in August, a new development is he came out with a stand your ground motion, saying that it was self-defense, saying in the car they were fighting about what he said they were fighting, and then I think she reached out and grabbed his neck or something, came at him, and then as a way to get her off and defend himself, standing his ground, he grabbed her by the neck and he heard a pop. And then she died, and he freaked out. The problem is her neck wasn't broken. And also, she weighed 90 pounds at the time and was 5 feet tall, and he weighs 163 pounds. So it wouldn't have been too hard for him to just remove her in a nice, gentle, non-neck breaking way. And so that was filed in August. Stand your ground, which the optics on that, didn't help him at all. Pretty much negative response by the public across the board when you come out and say, yeah, that 90-pound girl really was scaring me in my car. Yeah, I couldn't get out, couldn't get her off me, had to kill her. So the judge denied that. There's no stand your ground in this one. And then it was supposed to start. The trial was supposed to start 30 days later in September, and then it got postponed again. But I don't know how much longer it's going to keep getting postponed, or how many tricks they got up the sleeve. He was standing his ground. But either way, I feel like it's going to start any time now, and we will follow it. And I'll keep you guys updated. I'm going to cut it off there. I hope that you're having a good day, and I'll see you next time. Why? Stiving why. Oh, yeah, I forgot to put in the last one that his sister is a Rodarte too and is in jail for murder too. She went full Rodarte and killed someone over a dispute about drugs in a car or something. So there you go. Anyway, have a good day, everybody. I'll see you next time.